Hey everybody, if you only watch right here on YouTube, then you haven't seen this before. But if you've been following us on Facebook, then you've been waiting for this video for almost 2 months. Let me tell you what I'm standing in. This is an arbor for 6 grapevines, extending for the entire west side of our home. So let me walk you through what we're doing here. When we built our home, we were very specific about its orientation. It sits exactly due east and west, and it's rectangular in shape, so long ways it goes east to west. Well, that does us a great big help in our utility bills. The only thing that's frustrating about it is this western wall, because this is our bedroom, and it heats up tremendously in the afternoon. The rest of the house will be nice and cool, but our bedroom gets really warm. So my wife thought, what if we could shade this with something like a grape trellis? And I said, I've seen something like that before, let me look into it. So I found the video I had watched previously about Val's garden. She's out of Florida and a permaculturist, and in that video they talk about their grape arbor on the west side of their house. And we didn't exactly replicate it, but we came pretty darn close, and we've got some good ideas for what we're going to do. Generally speaking, here's the concept. The grapevines will grow in the summer and provide shade so that the sun does not directly heat up the west side of the house. And then in winter, the green foliage will die off. We can trim our vines back, and we can have warm sun against our house in the winter. So we're using the deciduous nature of the vines to shade the house, while of course getting a heck of a bountiful harvest of grapes. So let me show you what's going on. I first shared this on Facebook with this picture, saying this was our idea, what do you think, would it work? Because Val's garden, it looks to me like they used rebar pipe and some more structural support than what we put into this one. The first thing we needed to do was correct some erosion problems that we had in this area. Rainfall up against the west side of the house had severely washed out a portion of the dirt, and for us to make this into any sort of usable area, we had to backfill some dirt. We did that by using some red fill dirt that we had used previously to help repair areas of our driveway, and also going to the back of our own property and taking topsoil right out of the forest. Once we had the area fairly well filled in the way we wanted to, we sunk in T-posts 7 feet away from the edge of the house. We spaced them out 1 height of a livestock panel. And that's to say that we didn't actually measure the distance between each cattle panel. We laid one on the ground and used it as a template to know where the next one would go. The distance that we measured was the distance from the house. So each post is exactly 7 feet from the house and exactly 1 cattle panel width from each other. We then attached the cattle panel to the T-post and bent it over and attached it to the house. To attach it to the house, we used 2-hole 1/2 inch conduit strap. Once connected to the house, we used some wire to attach the cattle panels to each other to help provide more structural support. Now, something we wish we had thought of before doing that step, and what I would recommend you should do first if you're able to, is we installed some extra irrigation to this system. We attached the downspouts from these 2 corners of the house to a pipe that had been perforated to water the soil. There is also an overflow pipe, so we don't have a problem of the water backing up into the downspouts, and the overflow pipe can be used as another way to water the system if we go too long without rain. Next, we got into the business of planting grapes. We planted 6 vines. Of the 6 vines we planted, 3 are southern grapes or muscadines. We planted 3 different varieties that all give us different use and benefits. The first one we planted is Scuppernong. Scuppernong is one that has good name recognition, especially here in the deep south. It's a good fresh eating and wine making muscadine, However, it is not self-fertile, so you must plant it with another muscadine cultivar. So we planted next to it a Carlos muscadine, which is also good for sweet fruit for fresh eating and for wine. The third variety we planted is Triumph muscadine. I hope that maybe we can get a good jam or jelly out of it. The other 3 vines are 2 varieties of some more common grapes. We have 2 vines of Niagara grape, which are your classic California green table grape. We also have 1 vine of the Concord grape, which I hope we can use to make some good homemade jams and jelly. With the grapevines in place, we knew we wanted to do some companion planting. We had already ordered our companion plants at this time, but apparently it was going to take some time before they actually arrived. Because of that, we planted Mississippi Paul cowpeas at each of the T-posts. We hope this is going to provide dual purpose. Not only are they good nitrogen fixators and have a very plentiful crop, but they grow very vigorously. So while we are waiting for the grapes to develop, we hope that the cowpea will climb the trellis and provide us some shade for this year. Not too much later, our companion plants arrived. And the big secret on those, we bought hyssop and comfrey. Hyssop is known to be a companion for grapes and is known to help them produce greater quantities of grapes. Comfrey is well known throughout the permaculture world as a good mineral miner. It has a deep taproot that gets down and grabs minerals that the grape roots will never reach. And then each winter when we cut back the comfrey, we will mulch the grapevines with the leaves and apply those minerals right to the root zone of the grapes. We also planted borage, sweet basil, lemon basil, and oregano throughout this area as general pest preventers and companion plants. Since we're going to have to wait for those seeds to germinate, and we already have flower clusters forming on these grapevines, we did purchase some sweet basil and oregano from the nursery and plant them now. We also purchased some French marigolds to help start bringing the pollinators in this direction and as general companion plants as well. So I hope that gives you the information you were looking for this particular project. There's so much more to see here in the future. This area, this 7-foot pathway between the house and the edge of the trellis is going to become a zone of life. There's going to be so much happening in here, from lettuces and herbs and a wide variety of things. So stay tuned and we'll update you on that as the rest of this project continues to develop. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.